All right, sorry about that, guys. Just I had to try and get myself ready for this series. I didn't know if I was gonna be casting this or not. Put a little water on my face, got a little bit more ice water for myself, and studied up on camera work while I was away. It's gonna be amazing here for game one between SG Esports, the Brazilian Gods, up against compLexity Gaming, joined by Firo, and I was told it Vlad, but it's there is Butterfly, so we'll call him that. So SG Esports had a pretty successful major over Secret. And then let's take a look at the draft as compLexity. They're kind of here with a new lineup, and let's see what they really want to get started. Let's take a look, as it's going to be Wisp, Magnus, Clockwork, TA, banned out by SG Esports. compLexity, they ban out the Enigma, Darkseer, Slark, and Legion Commander, while now they pick up the Warlock, Terrorblade, Spirit Breaker, Centaur, and SG Esports, Ricky, Crystal Maiden, Lena, and Spectre. So from the looks of it, it's going to be a roaming Ricky, position 5 Crystal Maiden, Lena mid, Spectre safe lane. But Lena very vulnerable up against the Spirit Breaker, and obviously there's no mid pick just yet. Maybe we see a Quap come out for compLexity. But they have Terrorblade safe lane, Centaur going to be played by Moo off lane. It seems that it's definitely going to be interesting for compLexity with this new lineup, and let's see how SG Esports play it out, coming off a pretty successful major. So, take a look. It's a ban of Batrider.
10 seconds.
Oh wait, what did I say? compLexity. We're gonna go Quap, and then SG Esports. They need an offlaner. That's right. All right, sorry. My brain's like turning off for a split second.
Reserve time.
So we take a look. SG Esports. They ban out the Ember Spirit. Let's see what they pick up for this offlaner. No Clockwork. No Batrider. No Darkseer. No Enigma. No Magnus. What can they go with? And maybe we do see something like a Tidehunter come out. Tanky, Ravage is nice with Spectre and a Radiance. Can set up a nice kill, get that LSA out with the Dragon Slave, as well as the Laguna Blade. You follow that up with the Crystal Maiden, Freezing Field. Let's see what they go with offlane, if they are going to go with that Tidehunter. And then I kind of like Quap for compLexity. I do like it with a Spirit Breaker coming in, charge, Quap blinks in, Shadow Strike, and the rest.
Seconds remaining.
Sand King.
So Sand King picked up for SG Esports. So Sand King, Spectre, Lena, Crystal Maiden, Ricky.
Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
For compLexity, let's see what they do
Reserve time.
For mid. Ten seconds left.
Remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
And Timbersaw. So Timbersaw, Centaur, Spirit Breaker, Terrorblade, Warlock. So it is going to be Moo on the Timbersaw, Swindles on the Centaur, Z-Freak playing the Spirit Breaker, Firo with the Terrorblade, and Vlad on the Warlock. And then we take a look as it is Sand King played by Tavo, HFN on the Spectre, 4DR on Lena, Kingard with the Ricky, and then what is it? It's Cat on the Crystal Maiden.
10 seconds remaining.
So let's switch this over. Not forgetting overlays.
5 seconds remaining.
We'll be ready with this game in just a moment. Gonna load in. We're gonna see the nice spectator screen telling you who's playing what after this, as we already get it twice now. Then we're gonna see towers, Protoss towers. Are they gonna be upgraded? Are they gonna be level 1? We'll see, we'll see, we'll see. But let's see. Let's see what's coming in next. There it is. Look at this screen. Look at it. No upgrades to the towers. So very even in the early goings, as there's no upgrades in the towers. Obviously, totally cosmetic. It's all that matters. And here we go.
Prepare for battle.
Got himself those 2 wards and a sentry. King are going to move forward with that permanent invisibility. Going to walk right into Butterfly, and there's the ping out. Vlad going to know he's spotted. Doesn't get a chance to place either of those wards just yet, and they know that Kingard is close and ready to go, and he's going to place himself a ward. Let's see if they do see that. Or, well, obviously they didn't see it, but let's see if they recognize that and end up dewarding that. So from what I was told, I don't really cover American region despite living in New York. I usually cover Chinese region. That Firo's their mid, or gonna be their mid, and Vlad's gonna be their support. And let's see. Is he there? Nice. Yeah, Vlad's the support. Firo going mid with this Terrorblade. That's pretty much it. So that's all I know, boys. I know as much as you. So, Bounty Rune's picked up. 4DR is going to pick it up as well as HFN on the Spectre. And not to take shots at anybody, but let's see if this Spectre can do better than MP. 26-minute Radiance, that's your mark. Ready, set, go, HFN. Take a look over. Vlad and Swindles are going to be here with the Centaur and the Warlock. Take a look over. It is Kingard with the Ricky as well as Cat on this Crystal Maiden. They do drop down that Sentry. Not too sure if they did spot it out. They do have the Frostbite available. They're going to get the Frostbite out on Vlad as well as the Hoofstomp's going to miss. Or actually the Hoofstomp, yeah, the Hoofstomp's going to hit. Sorry, wrong team. My bad. Already a bad start. Oh. And then Moo gets the kill bottom. Oh, it's all falling apart at the seams. Ah, God. So they take a look as Kingard is just going to try and harass out Vlad on this Warlock. He's on the same team as Swindles. Get it into your head. Shadow Word comes through. That'll heal him up. I was not taking a look bottom just yet. Did not expect a first blood to come out that early. As it is Moo who gets the first blood, and that will be the first blood on Tavo, the Sand King. So we take a look over mid. It is Lena up against the Terrorblade. And it's an interesting matchup. I think Terrorblade not going to be as aggressive as he normally is in a safe lane role, but Firo is 4DR. Dragon Slave comes out. Of course, they level 2. No Light Strike Array, just Fiery Soul. Will be the salve to heal himself on up. So Tavo looking for something on Z-Freak. Does have the Burrow Strike available, but only level 1. And with that miss of First Blood from this moment on, I will not miss another kill.
Death's bounty.
Kingard spots Vlad, just going to take those pot shots at the Warlock. He's going to have to be using that Shadow Word to keep himself healthy, but he is getting quite low. Of course, he does have that Triumph. He's forced into that position, and meanwhile Z-Freak is going to get Burrow struck up by Tavo. And really, now Tavo, without any mana, is super vulnerable. Will end up having to go over towards that Shrine. So Swindle's getting a bit low. We do have Kingard here, as well as Cat on the Crystal Maiden. There's the Hoof Stomp and the Double Edge. Just cleaning up that Crystal Maiden. There it is. 2 hard shots from Swindles, and he's now 1-0. Don't count compLexity out just because they weren't in Kiev. So the charge is coming through on HFN. Let's see if it goes all the way through. Frostbite used by Cat. Shadow Word's going to come out on Swindles. They're for sure looking for this as they're trying to harass out that salve from HFN, but he's going to be able to heal back to full. They're actually going to charge all the way. No, they are not. Thought they might charge all the way through, but they don't. Meanwhile, Tavo, he's getting chased up by Moo. Level 3 does have 1 in the Whirling Death, 2 in the reactive armor. Let's take a look up top again, as this is the lane that seems to have the most aggression. As we take now our second look over mid, is 40R is going to get that nice LSA out on Firo. Firo's found himself level 3, not about level 4 just yet. He's a full level behind this Lina. Kind of struggling in this lane, as he's 12-2 and 17-7 is 40R. So you take a look up top. Z-Freak's nearby, so the charge won't take as long, and I think he's trying to set up the angle to push HFN back towards his tower, but he's actually going to move over, find himself both the Crystal Maiden as well as the Ricky, so just has to run away for now. Does have the charge out if things get too bad, but I don't think they will. Now there it is. There's the charge coming out on HFN. He's going to push him further away from that tower. There's the Hoof Stomp as well as the Double Edge. They clean him up! Wow. So the smoke screen not in time from the Ricky, and they clean up now 3-0 compLexity over SG eSports. This is definitely the opposite of what we saw from SG eSports at Kiev, at least in the main stage, where they ended up beating Secret. But then again, it was a best of 3. They lost the game 1 and then ended up winning the next 2 games. So let's see if this is a repeat of that. And of course, this is only game 1. And of this best of 3, so. Take a look over again at mid. 40R just about level 6, and maybe SG eSports can really use that Laguna Blade towards their benefit early on. Kind of want to push back in this game. They're not down by too much in net worth, only 212 despite being down 3 kills. So the game still very even 5.5 minutes in. Firo, not level 6 yet, has backed off towards the jungle. Gonna kill off this Centaur, grab this bounty rune, and try and up that farm. We take a look over mid. Kingard is here with the courier. Just, what's that giving him? Not stick. Ward, maybe not an orb of venom. He had that before, possibly his boots. Let's take a look over at Moves. Found himself just about level 6 and about a half level in front of Tavo, who was the victim to that first blood. So now HFN has found himself over towards mid, up against Firo. We take a look over top as 40R is here. Not too sure they're going to find themselves anything in terms of a kill on that Centaur Swindles. And now we take a look over. There's the Sentry Ward thrown down. Kingard, he's going to be spotted. They do have vision on him for just a moment. And there's the Invis rune. I do not expect Kingard to take that at all.
I am king of the invisible realm.
Take a look up top. Shadow Word gonna keep Swindles alive. And that's about it. No aggression really coming out from either side at the moment. Sentry Ward is gonna spot Kingard for just a moment. So they still know that he's sitting mid. They do ping it out. Let's take another look over bottom again, as this is just not the fastest paced of games. We're going to come through, pop that invisibility, get hit by that chakram. Here comes the charge all the way through under tower. So it's going to be stopped by the Burrow Strike. Now turning it around is going to be this Ricky. They're going to try and get in with the nice Timber Chain forward, but hitting away at Z-Freak is going to be Kinger. Tavo's here as well as Cat. And let's see if they can find themselves a kill. They get the silence. He doesn't have the charge. Actually, he does have the charge, but the Frostbite as well as the Burrow Strike will keep him in place, and they do get themselves the kill. Take a look over at Moo once again. Surrounded by the Ricky as well as the Sand King and Crystal Maiden. Not too sure the three of them would even be able to take out Moo at this point in time. And there is the Stampede going to be used as they close the distance on that Spectre and get themselves the kill. Firo as well as Z-Freak are going to work together with the Stampede to stampede all the way down the throats of that Spectre and get the kill. Meanwhile, Moo, he's under tower. There's the Laguna Blade. They'll clean up another on SG eSports as they use that Laguna Blade. So they trade 1 for 1, but it's doubling their amount of kills. It's now going from 1 to 2. So still not the biggest of splits in terms of net worth lead. Only 115 gold, now 45 gold in favor of compLexity. They do end up getting that kill on Moo, and now here comes the charge out on King RD. So the charge comes in, he's dusted up as well, and the smoke screen is going to try and keep himself alive for a little bit longer. There's the mischance, it does help him out just a little bit. There's the blink strike to get himself away, to get himself towards the Crystal Maiden, but now there's the frostbite. They slow him down, and he's not dusted anymore. Oh no, he's dusted again, this time by Moo, and you're not getting away on that one, Ricky. So now 5-2 in favor of compLexity, just a 500 net worth lead. We take a look up kind of around the horn. Spectre just sitting with that earned phase boots. The Lena, who did all right in lane, going to be going for that Bloodstone next. Let's have the Soul Ring for no Talisman. Tavo is here nearby, no Epicenter. Thought they might go in on Moo and end up and just get a kill on the Crystal Maiden. So over mid, Firo going to try and get this tier 1 smoke screen available. They see the Ricky. There's the dust. There's the kill. The charge is going to come on through. There's the Burrow Strike. It's going to hit on just this Spirit Breaker. And they'll find themselves a nice little turnaround. So a Ricky for its Spirit Breaker. So 7-3 in favor of compLexity. Meanwhile, top Swindles. He's going to go for this tier 1. They don't actually end up getting the tier 1 over mid. Going to kill on a Ricky, but it's not really worth everything they'd hoped it'd be. And the charge is coming in on HFN.
Death's bounty.
Going to be stopped right before Spectre moves back towards the tier 1. Take a look around the horn of compLexity. Swindles just looking for that nice hood. Just got himself the poor man's shield, going for the blink after that. We take a look over. Ricky does spot Z-Freak. No, they're not going to go for the charge. We take a look over at Firo, who's looking for the Dragon Lance next, has the Aqua, and then over on Moo. Poor man's shield, and he'll be looking for a Bloodstone of his own. So Tavo, next victim to get charged. Nope, gonna be spotted. Or does spot him out, and now 2 are here in both the Crystal Maiden and Tavo on the Sand King. Stop's going to come on through. There's the Crystal Nova as well as the Double Edge. That's going to hit on Tavo. The Chaotic Offer, he's going to fly through on 2, but he does get that Burrow Strike to hit on the Centaur. Coming in with the Haunt is going to be HFN. And now Now let's see if they can find themselves anything with this Stampede. They continue to move on forward. There's the ulti used by Z-Freak. They'll find themselves another one. And meanwhile, Lena's going to find themselves a kill over mid onto Firo. So they get one in Firo, but lose two, and they're going to lose this top tier 1 tower as well. So at SG, they're starting to really not hold on to the tightness of the net worth deficit as it's starting to hit its way towards 1,500. Nothing too hard to overcome, but complexity, where you're going to have someone raid boss-ish like Swindles with the Centaur, and Terrorblade, who's just going to be hitting hard towards them. It's just going to get harder and harder for SG eSports if they let those heroes get farmed up. And really, complexity, they do have the early game with the Metamorphosis as well as the Centaur's tankiness. SG, they got to kind of hope that they find a couple of team fights and start to stymie them. Charge is going to come in on the Crystal Maiden. Knowing that he's surrounded by the entire side of SG eSports, not going to go for it. They're just going to let this tier 1 tower drop.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
All this is happening, Firo, he's looking towards the top tier 2. They're going to glyph it up immediately. Let's see if the rotations come out. They've got the Lina coming in for now, but not too sure if 40R wants to make that move. The Light Strike Array is going to hit with the Dragon Slave, but still taking quite a bit of damage from the illusions of Firo. Light Strike Array again. Here comes the Riki. There's the silence of the smoke screen, just trying to push him away ever so further. And then meanwhile, Moo's going to get a kill on HFN. I'm trying to follow what's going on top. They're getting a kill bottom. Thought they might go in on Firo. And it looks as though they want to make that move. But the Stampede coming out from Swindles is going to extend their space. And SG eSports are not going to be able to get over. It's like I commit to SG eSports up top, trying to find themselves a kill. You miss one bottom. And apparently you've now missed 100% of the kills. So HFN, he's fallen 3 times, and this is very comparable to MP. He just struggled, got that 26-minute Radiance, and the whole game was just an uphill battle for a Spectre. So 10-4 in favor of complexity. They've got themselves about a 2,700 net worth lead. Just trying to make space for HFN, who's going for the Yasha instead of the Radiance first. So he's going to cut his losses, get the Yasha. Just continually work that net worth as he sits behind the Terrorblade, the Timbersaw, as well as the Centaur. Definitely a tough time for Spectre. Top of the net worth is the Lina, 40R, who's got himself that finished off Bloodstone. And he's already level 12, level 2 in that Laguna Blade, and Blink Dagger picked up for Tavo. And this could start to open it up for SG eSports. Swindle's coming over. He's smoked up. He's got himself his Blink Dagger ready to go. Hide behind the tower, and the courier will come in. Still Maiden showing himself on the back end. Is going to be Riki spotting out Moo. Take a look over up top. There it is with the Epicenter getting charged up by Tavo. Tavo's going to come in with the Burrow Strike landing on 3. The Laguna Blade hits. They try to turn it around. The Chaotic Offering flies, and now Lina is going to be dead for 6 seconds only with that Bloodstone. They've already taken out 3 on complexity, and now it looks as though the Spectre's going to try and run down the rest of complexity. That's alive, and now Moo He is all alone between a rock and a hard place, and that hard place is SG Esports. He does get the Timber Chain as well. Oh, Tavo gets a nice Burrow Strike, and that'll be a complete team wipe. They don't take any on SG Esports except for the Lena, and she was back in 6 seconds. It didn't quite matter. So it's a big net worth turnaround for SG Esports to bring this game back to even. And they're really starting to find their mark as the Asha is here. The gold is getting picked up by HFN after that team fight. Take a look over at this Lena 4DR, who's got himself the Bloodstone. Of course, it lost a couple of charges, but the big point there in that fight was Tavo. He landed that Burrow Strike out on 3 with the Epicenter coming through, and that's what started everything. The Chaotic Offering tried to turn it around. They did find one in the Lena, but that was it. That was all they found. SG Esports ended up cleaning it up and getting an entire team wipe on compLexity. So Tavo, that classic Sand King for him. Already showing how good he is on that hero just 18 minutes into this game. So there's a 3-man smoke. TP scroll going to be dropped by 4DR. And it's just a 3-man smoke. Ricky, Crystal Maiden, and Tavo. They might actually walk up on this Centaur. There's the Frostbite Stampede. Going to push on forward to the Crystal Maiden. Not going to land on him just yet. There it is with the Hoof Stomp. They're going to try and get themselves as well as double edge, but Smoke Screen's going to come on through. It's going to stop him from getting that double edge. Here comes Tavo with the Burrow Strike, and now Crystal Nova's popped by Cat. I can't really catch my breath at this moment in time, and SG Esports are going to just disengage. Oh my god. I might have just died there. So Swindles again might be in a little bit of trouble. He's a bit far out. They do ping him out. Now they're going to get the Smoke Screen down one more time. They get the Frostbait to follow it up. There's the LSA as well as the Laguna Blade. Burrow Strike comes in, but the Chaotic Offering just a little bit late. Here comes the Haunt coming through. HFN in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be charged up. They take out that Golem. And now on the back end is Vlad and Firo, but the 1-man Burrow Strike comes in. Moo, he's starting to TP in. Maybe SG need to start rethinking this as the turnaround's going to come in. Here comes Z-Freak getting the charge out onto HFN. But now Z-Freak, he might be in a little bit of a tough spot. There's the Tricks of the Trade. There's the Burrow Strike. Epicenter from Tavo. It's a double kill. And now the Crystal Maiden uses that freezing field. Another team wipe for SG Esports. They turn it around again. They're the ones dealing with high ping. They're the ones dealing with this tough game with the ping. And they're turning it around on compLexity, who had such a great start. And another team wipe for SG Esports. They get another full team wipe. This time, I don't think they lost anything in that fight. The charge was deep into the jungle and surrounded by the entire side of SG Esports at that point. The Chaotic Offering had already been used earlier in that fight. I just don't understand why compLexity continued to go in. They now are the ones who've gotten themselves a 3,300 net worth lead. You've got 15 Bloodstone charges on this Lena. Tavo continuing to just do work on this Sand King. It is just not what compLexity wanted. It must be so frustrating to have the lead they had, and then SG Esports take it away and then get it of their own already.
Mine.
So with that, SG Esports, Tavo, 4-staff, Blink Dagger, Lena, like I said, the Bloodstone, the Spectre, has the Manta style, so has chosen or elected really to go without the Radiance for now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under
Take a
attack.
look over. Is Terribly just trying to bring down this top tier 2. Meanwhile, down bottom, HFN's going to work on that tower. We take a look over. There's the hoof stop as well as the double edge out on the Crystal Maiden. They end up getting the kill. My camera falls out a touch short. We did see the death.
Dire's
And
top
they do
tower
get one
is
back
under
on
attack.
complexity.
Radiant's bottom tower has
So
fallen.
TPing in is Tavo. You better run now, complexity. There's the blink forward. He'll clean up the creeps. So Burrow Strike down for 7 seconds. That might just open up the tower for them to take.
Dire's top tower
Even cleaning
is
up
under
those
attack.
creeps is
Dire's top tower has fallen.
not going to stop them from getting that tier 2, but they lose a tier 2 of their own bottom. So, Ricky over here, phase boots, Aqua, looking for the medallion. Sand King, like I said, Tavo doing amazing. Blink, 4 staff, and then you take a look at the other side. Complexity, 6 Bloodstone charges, not where you want to be if you're a Timber Saw. And then we take a look over at Swindles on the Centaur. He still just has that hood and the blink, looking for the 4 staff next. So let's see, was that? No smoke there, but there was a ward. So both teams just wanting to sit back a little bit,
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
farm themselves up. Take a look over at the Lena. Boots of Travel available for the 40 line. Tavo, nothing queued up just yet. Now the Terrorblades got that Manta style.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
On the other side, complexity again. We take a look over at Moo. He's looking for a 4 staff of his own. And Tavo, he's waiting in the wing. He wants to go in again on this complexity side. Just sitting, waiting, knows he has the vision on Swindles, but none of his team is here to back him up, so going in would basically be a death wish. Warlock have Vlad, he's got himself just at level 8, level 1 in that chaotic offering. And now, continuing to move forward is Tavo. There's the Epicenter getting charged up. He's going to force staff himself, but that's not going to avoid Tavo. There's the Laguna Blade. The haunt is you. Tavo comes in. They're going to look to get Swindles. They will. And the rest of the team is here from complexity. You think you could force staff away from this man, Tavo? He says no to that. He will follow you like a heat-seeking missile. And he lands the Burrow Strike. He lands the Epicenter. And again, SG eSports, they'll take another. So Lena involved in that once more. Does have the Laguna Blade level 3, already level 19, 16 Bloodstone charges. And here it is, SG eSports. They want to pressure still. Actually, you're going to find Firo coming over is going to be 40R, and now he's going to be charged up. This may not be the fight that SG eSports is looking for, but hey, Tavo's coming in, and maybe they don't want to look for this. Firo is going to get hit by that Dragon's Wave as well as the Laguna Blade. They're going to charge in on this Lena, but here comes the Burrow Strike onto Swindles. He might be in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the Freezing Field, but it's going to be stopped immediately. Here comes the Chakram as well with the Whirling Death and the Timber Chain to come on through. Lena and Sand King are going to die, so Tavo finally falls, as well as the Crystal Maiden. They're going to grab themselves another one in Ricky, and Moo gets himself a double kill, and complexity, they strike on the error of SG eSports. So 4 die on SG eSports. They don't even get Firo. That is a big change in hands for net worth in favor of complexity, and they greet it with open arms. So with that, now they're down by only less than 1,000 net worth. 40R comes over. Let's see. 10. Bloodstone charge is going to miss the Light Strike Ray. Swindle's still nearby. 40R needs to be careful. Radiance is finally picked up.
Is under attack.
for HFN. 26 minutes, and he has a Yasha, or has a man style. And he says, I will not be the second MP of the day. So take a look over at Firo, Dragonlance. Looking pretty good, going for the BKB next, as well as the Diffusal there. And then we take a look over at Swindles. He's going for the Ags, as he has finished off that 4-staff. Coming over is going to be SG Esports. They're smoked up. They've got the Ricky leading the charge. Here comes Tabo with the Burrow Strike as well as the Haunt now with the Radiance. And now they're going to try and turn it around on Black. That's going to be the first one to die on compLexity. Now they've got the Stampede, but I'm not too sure that's going to be enough to get away. They're going to TP in Moo. And with that, as they notice that coming in, they're going to back off on SG Esports.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
So SG Esports, they take down the Warlock and nothing else. But they pressure compLexity once again.
Death's bounty.
Take a look over. Coming in is the side of compLexity. Lincoln's is finished up for this Lina. Let's see if they can find themselves anything. HFN is pretty close by, and meanwhile, going for Roche is going to be compLexity. Down bottom is Ricky as well as 4DR. They haven't TP'd over just yet. And Illusion, which will spot out the Crystal Maiden. Are they going to go in on this? Tabo has Epicenter ready. And an opportunity to hit a nice 1, 2, 3, 4-man Burrow Strike if he is a heat-seeking missile. I think he is.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Roche
attack.
getting very low. Here's the Spectral Dagger. They might look to go in. Tabo ready! Burrow Strike comes out on 2. The Aegis is down, but it's going to be picked up by Firo. They're going to continue to go in, but Tabo's already going to be taken out as the Chaotic Offering comes in from compLexity. They're going to take out this Spectre immediately, and now it looks as though Cat's going to be trying to go for the Freezing Field. They're going to take out Moo, but they're going to lose the Crystal Maiden as well, and it will be a 3-for-1 trade. They pick up the Aegis onto the Terrorblade, and now they want more. They want this Lina, but I'm not too sure they're going to have it.
Money to burn.
So Burrow Strike comes through onto Firo. He still has that Aegis. Thought for a second Tabo was going to pick it up. Not lucky enough to do so. And now they're looking to get themselves a kill on Vlad. There's the smoke screen, LSA, and the Dragon. So if they'll get themselves one, but the Blink with the Hoof Stomp, Hoof Stomp Double Edge gets themselves a return kill on the Ricky. So this game back to even, back and forth and back and forth it is going, as it is another fight in favor of compLexity. So take a look at Swindles, and is Ags ready on this courier or no? Ready with the smoke is SG. I'm going to TP over the Ricky. Let's see if they can find anything. And they do not have a scan to try and catch out compLexity, and they're not top either.
This'll come in handy.
So now they come over. Firo. Not spotted just yet. But coming over towards this shrine, and now on the high ground is Tabo as well as Cat. Do they want to go in on this? The rest of the team is there, and meanwhile, Moo is going to be spotted by the Ricky. So now Tabo comes over. He's going to get that Burrow Strike as well as the Haunt is going to come on through. Moo might be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be silenced up, and now he's going to be dead. The charge comes in from Z-Freak, and now they're going to get themselves the Centaur to come in even further. The LSA does hit onto Z-Freak. Cat's going to be taken down very low. He's going to fall, and now the Stampede to close the distance. They're not going to let Tabo as well as 4DR run away. They do get the Burrow Strike as well as the Blink out. They're going to get the LSA coming in as well as the Laguna Blade, but it really doesn't do too much. They get the Bash as well as the charge. It's going to come in on Tabo. He's in a little bit of trouble, but the mischance from the the smoke screen is going to be enough. The dust is there, and now he might be in a little bit of trouble, but Tavo again, 40R cleans up Vlad, and now they're still continuing to look for something more. Z-Freak is going to hit away ahead this Ricky and finally charge away. And now I'm not sure what they're doing with Swindles. It's a little bit of a dance. There's the Sunder, 40R very low. There's another Burrow Strike coming out. 40R is going to be a little bit of trouble. There's the Hoof Stomp as well as the Double Edge getting stopped by the Lincolns. And Firo will find another kill as it's now 22-20 for compLexity. And we take a look at that fight recap. It's a 2-for-2 trade after all is said and done. Whew. So, SG eSports, they lose the Lena, they lose Cat. Pretty sure Spectre got out of there, and he's looking for a heart, HFN. And he's not too far off of it. 1,400, so 1,300 left over, needs 27 or 1,700 more gold. That was bad math by me. And we take a look over at Tabo, who wants this Ags, and he's only 1,400 gold away from that. Or, that's bad math again, 2,400 gold. Wow. Stupid American. That's what I am. So, down to 9 Bloodstone charges is 40R. He does end up falling in that last exchange, and now he's looking to get that Daedalus. Meanwhile, on the other side of compLexity, Terrorblade has the Manta Dragonlance and Diffusal in the backpack for now. He's got that Aegis. And Swindles, Ags is a go with the gem. So they look over, Timber Chain. Did they spot anybody? They might have spotted Tavo. He's trying to run for his life. This might be the best bait of his life. Burrow Strike's not going to hit. It's just going to get him out. But there is all 5 here. Spectral Dagger thrown forward. Oh, SG eSports going to react. There's still Chaotic Offering on the board as well as the Aegis. I'm not too sure they can react.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
We'll hit away at this tower. Firo with those nice illusions just continues to rock it. Slave thrown forward. They get the tower. The Aegis expires. And with that compLexity, they about face. And they'll leave. Taking a tier 2. Take a look over at SG eSports. They're all here by the shrine. Does anybody have a smoke?
Dire's middle tower is under
Sword
attack.
press. Take a look over at Firo again. Now the Diffusal Blade is going to be in his item pool as he's lost that Aegis. It's run out. Charge is coming out onto Cat. Charge coming all the way through. Here comes Moo and dead you are. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. The charge. The chakram. Tabo going to get hit by that Burrow Strike. Here comes the Laguna Blade as well as the Haunt coming in from HFN. They're going to continue to move on forward as HFN does have that Blade Mail. He's got the Lotus Orb on himself, but he is going to deny. So he won't give up the kill. Tabo, maybe not the best of Epicenters. He does end up getting that Burrow Strike onto Swindles, but here comes the Chaotic Offering. That's going to land on 4. So Swindles trying to run away, but he's not going to get out in time to leave 40R. And now it looks as though Vlad might be in a little bit of trouble. Here comes the Light Strike Array. Just TP's out. And Tavo will away with that Burrow Strike, but 3 for 1 in favor of SG eSports. So 23-22, 36 minutes in. It's been a bloodbath, and it's only a 1,300 net worth lead for the side of compLexity as HFN closes in on that heart. It's going to be that much harder to kill, and, you know, he's kind of getting equivalent to where Swindles is, where he's hard to kill, but at the same time, that didn't stop SG eSports from just killing him right there. Tavo, he ends up getting that gem. It's on the ground. Still getting ever so close to that Ags. And then, of course, HFN is now finished off that heart. Take a look over at the Lina and back to 12 Bloodstone charges. Has the Daedalus in full. And then we take a look at the Terrorblade who's going for that Butterfly. That might be coming to him in full. Let's see. Whoop. Nope. It is actually going to be an E-Blade. He did have Butterfly pinged up before, or queued up before. But he goes for the E-Blade instead. Take a look, Ricky. Yeah, that's tower range. He might be in a little bit of trouble. I expect the dust. There it is. He plants a deep ward, but I'm not too sure they really want to commit to Ricky at this moment. They know that SG Esports are probably laying in wait. They're going to continue to go in. It does end up hitting on the Ricky. Now Swindles. He's going to be spotted out by this Ricky. I don't know. Does he have a vision? No, there's the blink with the hoof stomp. Is going to miss. The Frostbite's going to be out on a creep. Swindles. Just moving forward on SG Esports as they retreat. Down bottom is 40R. Again, does have that Daedalus waiting in full, doesn't he? Yeah.
Radiant's middle tower
And the BKB.
is under attack.
Almost done. So Tavo just going to defend top. As complexity's here. They're ready to go. Have Metamorphosis off cooldown. They're waiting to make something happen. SG Esports, they got to find their open moment to counter this. The push is going to come in with Terrorblade. He doesn't have the Aegis just yet. Roach isn't available, but Complexity might find their moment. There it is, the point with the Stampede, but he might be in a little bit of trouble. There's Chaotic Offering coming out on 4. They're going to continue to turn around as the BKBs pop by Firo, but here comes the Haunt. They're trying to get something for SG Esports. Oh boy, HFN, he might be in a little bit of trouble. He's got himself that blade mail. Here comes the charge as well as the Epicenter, but Tavo is going to be stopped up by the charge. Z-Freak is going to be a little bit into that Epicenter. Here comes a nice barrel strike out on 2 from Tavo, but Tavo eating it from Firo. They'll get themselves a second kill. They do end up taking down Z-Freak. But in a 2-for-1 trade like that where they take out Tavo, they might be able to force back the buybacks from SG Esports if they are going to go for it on Complexity. Moo's going to come in deep. 40R is going to get very low. He's not actually going to die as the Solar Crest does save his life. And now backing off is going to be the rest of Complexity. They have not bought back on either Tavo or Cat just yet. Now backing off his Complexity as Roche will respawn in just 26 seconds. So they're not going to force the buyback out from either of the heroes on SG Esports. And Tavo's still looking for that axe. Hasn't gotten anything since. Has been kind of stymied in his gold. Luckily, 40R did not die in that last exchange. Still has 13 Bloodstone charges. Now the BKB is down to 9 seconds, and they actually head towards Roche. So they know there's no Chaotic Offering. Let's see if they can make anything happen to this. SG Esports, oh boy, Cat's going to be getting charged. Here comes the rest of the team in Complexity. Moo just waiting. They're actually not going to go in. They're going to be able to pick up the Aegis on SG Esports. Bringing forward with the nice Burrow Strike is going to be Tavo. Might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the 4-step to the high ground. But now they've got themselves the LSA as well as the Dragon Slave. The machine gun that is Alina will get the kill onto Vlad. So SG Esports, they'll heal back up as they've taken themselves a bit of a lead. 2,500, not the most we've seen, but definitely the most consistent of a lead we've seen. There's the blink with the hoof stomp. They're going to try and go for the double edge, but now he's going to be silenced up. Who's going to come on in? Here comes the Burrow Strike going to come in from Tavo as well as the Haunt. They're going to try and get themselves a kill on Swindles, but he's going to be able to stampede his team out as well as himself. So now SG, they're a little bit low. They're already going to take out one in this Ricky. He's going to drop that gem, but Moo might be a little bit too far. They've got themselves the Diffusal Blade. He's going to get very low to about half health, and now the charge is going to come in from Z-Freak. They're trying to find something as the hoof stomp hits from Swindles as well as the double edge, and now they'll get themselves another kill, this time on Tavo. So having to back off is going to be SG Esports, and now coming in is Moo. Moo's going to get that blink as well as the body box. Here comes the E-Blade, and that'll pop Cat just like that. So now with 3 dead and the pushing potential of Firo, they've got the Metamorphosis ready to go. They want to be able to push these towers, especially this tier 2, and ultimately look for a high ground push to force the buyback of these heroes on SG Esports, despite not knowing that Crystal Maiden and Ricky don't have it.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Actually, they might have found HFN. Here comes the Chaotic Offering, who's going to come on in. He's going to try and use that Spectral Dagger to get a high ground, but the ulti used by Z-Freak. They will be able to get that kill. So 40R with the Dragon, so they will get 1 in return, but you'll lose a Spectre. You kill yourselves a Warlock and a Spirit Breaker. The worth is there for compLexity. So they still technically have the Aegis on Lina, but without Spectre, they really can't use it to its full potential. So, SG Esports Tavo. Again, no ads just yet, saving his buyback. And never mind. Continuing to farm up is going to be compLexity as we take a look. Diffusal Blade, Hurricane Pike, Manta, E-Blade going for the Scotty next. Or Diffusal Blade level 2 then. Scotty is going to be this terrible. We take a look at Swindles, who's very farmed at this moment in time at 18,000 net worth. And with the Ags, the Pipe, and going up next for this Assault Cuirass, he's going to be the raid boss they wanted him to be for so long in this game. So they get the scan out. SG Esports, they're going to make their way over. They really want to find themselves a couple of kills. The scan's going to run out. Illusion's coming through. And Moo moves ever so slightly forward. So there's the blink. Tavo comes in with the Burrow Strike, but the blinking over is going to be Swindles with the hook stop that's come out on 2. Now it's as though Tavo's going to be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be forced to have out. He's going to be safe and alive for just a little bit longer, but HFN, he's going to be torn apart by Firo, and that's going to be 3 dead just like that. And it's going to be 4 dead as they get the Lina once. They should be able to get the Lina twice. Swindles is there, ready. Hook stomp lands. There it is with the charge. They get another, and SG Esports, they take the Warlock down, but they lose 4, plus the Aegis in doing so. So this is now a compLexity-driven game as they're up 33-27, doing very well right now, and they're going to be looking to get this tier 3 top.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So there it is, Manta style, these illusions with Metamorphosis just hitting away. And there's the tower, and there are the racks just melting away. Only going to go for the melee racks, go for the tower over mid. They've only got Tavo and Ricky ready to go. There's the long Burrow Strike and the blink out. Shiva's guard is not going to hit from Moo, and they're going to continue to work on this melee racks. Maybe they're back up, but they still want to force the buyback of this Spectre, which they haven't done just yet. So 2 sets of racks down on SG Esports. They're now down 13,000 net worth, and that's the biggest lead of the day, or biggest lead of the game. So compLexity, they back out just a bit, but instead they smoke. They want to finish it right here, right now, just like that song where that guy says right here and right now. So Tavo blinks away just barely. And there it is, Timber Chain to the high ground as well as the Whirling Death, but they're still continuing to move forward. Swindles, he's coming on in. There's the Frostbite, might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the Solar Crest as well as the Luna Blade. I'm not too sure they're going to be able to get the kill. The Chaotic Offering comes down on 2. BKB is going to be popped by 40R, but he's going to have to run away from the side of compLexity. They're getting corralled into their base, and his name is Moo. He is a cow. He might know what corralling is as he corrals the entire side of SG Esports. They end up bringing down Swindles, and they're going to lose Tavo. Continuing to go in as HFN. They lost themselves the Spirit Breaker. SG Esports starting to turn this around. Now they look towards Moo. They actually look towards Firo. He's going to be hit by that Light Strike array. He's under the smoke screen, and he's going to die, so they lose 4. So this is insane. I thought they were going to corral them well enough, and SG Esports were going to end up losing that fight. But they turn it around, and fight recap, please. 4 for 2. SG Esports, they pull themselves out of what is a giant hole and deficit of this game. So, HFN, he's got himself quite a bit of farm right now. He's sitting just 3,000 net worth under the Terror Blade Mail, which he'll probably get rid of for this Butterfly. And then we take a look over at the Lina, who has the AC as well as the Daedalus now. And now, with the Tier 3 dead bottom, they can work on these shrines, but they're still down 2 set of racks. So there's the Chakram thrown forward. Blinking forward is Moo. I'm not sure he wants to make that move. The Diffusal Blade would really put him in a little bit of trouble if the rest of the team was here. But, you know, the rest of the team is not here, and that's a huge variable in whether he lives or dies. So Roche may respawn in 20 seconds. He may not, apparently. There's the Butterfly. Did we replace the Blade now? Yeah. Take a look at SG Esports, just trying to move around, possibly wait for Roche and get that Aegis out, as it's up in 17 seconds, and they're close to this Roche pit. This Illusion not going to stay alive long enough to spot the Roche respawn. And actually, SG Esports, they move back just a bit from the Roche pit. I'm not too sure they're confident in taking a fight there just yet. Coming over is going to be compLexity. The Chakram's going to spot out Roche. And now knowing that, compLexity are going to move forward into the Roche pit, go for this Aegis as well as Cheese. They'll take the shrine so nobody can TP on over. I'm not too sure, again, if SG Esports really want to make that move over towards Roche anyway. I'm not too sure or certain they'd be able to win a fight, at least when they're wrapped up and funneled into the Roche pit. So there's the Aegis. Cheese picked up by Firo. He'll drop that, pick up the Aegis. Now let's see what they can do with this Aegis and if they can take out the bottom set of racks. Over SG Esports, they're waiting just for compLexity to move on forward, and I think that really depends on this creep wave, which they've sent Moo down bottom. Clean up. And they've got Swindle cleaning up this creep wave here. So if SG Esports take this fight, this game is back to even and completely turned upside down. Got a fast tower attack hero as in Lina on 4DR, as well as the Spectre, who's quite farmed up, is going to destroy those towers. So compLexity waiting. They're pushing up. They're getting ready to go. 4DR really wants to be standing that far forward. You don't want to be in blink distance of Swindles. Just got the Spectre top, continuing to push out the creep wave and ultimately waiting for the Haunt. It'll be the counter initiation that SG Esports are going to go for. They're going to try and wait on it probably when Chaotic Offering goes down. So let's see, what can compLexity do to do it? And now, oh wow, Force Staff comes out on from 40 or onto 4DR, puts him down to the low ground, almost in harm's way. continuing to push out is going to be the Spectre up top. They really don't want to be dealing with all 3 lanes being pushed in, especially with the constant pressure coming out from compLexity. Let's see what they do. There's the Blink Gain with the Hex. He's going to try and go deep, but he's going to be hit with that Frostbite as well as the Chaotic Offering coming down. Cat's not dead just yet. The BKB is going to be popped by both Firo as well as 4DR. They get the charge in as well as the ulti out on Tavo. Tavo's going to keep himself alive with this Shrine, and nobody but the Crystal Maiden's dead just yet on SG Esports. They try to turn this around. Now they're turning their attention, and the charge comes out on the Ricky. Firo might be in a little bit low, but he's going to use that Sunder onto Spectre. Spectre might be in a little bit of trouble. He's got to try and run away, and now the cheese is going to be eaten as well. So Firo's still alive. They're going to go for this Rack. They're going to try and get Mega Crease. 4DR is going to try and do something. Swindles is going to come in. He's going to get himself the Hoof Stomp as well as the Timber Chain coming out from Moo. Moo's going to get himself another kill. It's actually going to be Firo gets the kill out onto the Lina, and now they're looking for more. They're trying to bring down Firo. Firo getting very well. They finally pop the Aegis, but he's just the raid boss. Tavo comes in. He's going to get himself a nice Burrow Strike out on a couple. The charge comes in onto the Ricky, and they'll find themselves 3, and GG is finally called by SG Esports in Game 1. So, I would say typical SG Esports fashion, they lose Game 1, but it wasn't a stomp like the Game 1 they lost to Secret. It was very close, and SG Esports almost pulled out a win there. So compLexity, they take Game 1. Now they're 1 game away from moving forward and sending SG Esports to the lower bracket. And we take a look at these stats. Firo 13-4, Moo 13-6, and Cat, oh my god, 2-13. Tavo not his best game, and compLexity, they pull out a win, and they take the series